Stuck on repeat. What is Netflix's Russian Doll actually about? Television and rate, paranoia, repetition, bathrooms. You fans believe the hit black comedy mirrors star Natasha Lyonne's own battles with addiction. Paranoia, repetition, bathrooms. You fans believe the hit black comedy mirrors star Natasha Lyonne's own battles with addiction. By now, you have probably worked out that it is much more than just an entertaining comedy drama about a wisecracking denizen of New York City's East Village who keeps dying and coming back to life. The clues are there, but spotting a few cool coincidences is not the same as fully appreciating a show as rich with meaning as Russian Doll. Are you ready to get Anita Chelema, a senior therapist with UK addiction treatment centres and herself a recovering addict, says that on first watch she found the show kind of dull initially. I got really frustrated with the repetition, and then as it progressed, I realized it was really reminding me of the monotony of active addiction, being back in the bathroom, the reliving everything, again and again and again. She was also aware it was, however, the repeated death motif that resonated most. I think it's an emotional death. Because every time, Leslie Headland, co-creator and showrunner, says she has had her own experiences with addiction and treatment. I am familiar with. Lyonne has used the intriguing phrase quantum consequences to describe exactly how the day-to-day toll of addiction manifests in Russian Doll. As the series alcoholism and drug abuse are not a new subject for the screen, of course. Addiction stories, unlike all the above, however, Russian Doll is notable for not being a massive downer. The time loop could Russian Doll itself be a useful therapeutic tool? It's no aggressive. The main reason to be grateful for this show is that it pushes past addiction into what's beyond. Other TV shows, however, from the moment Nadia and Alan connect and become each other's de facto AA sponsors, there is a light at the end of the tunnel to move towards. This odd couple, the idea that they are trapped inside some kind of computer game is mooted in theology is discussed, but like the 12-step program itself, which refers to God, as we understood him, Russian Doll doesn't get too hung up on the divine. Eventually, Russian Doll's finale allows viewers to vicariously experience that technicolor beauty of recovery, without the tedium of addiction. More than that, Russian Doll is available to stream now on Netflix. Before you post, we'd like to thank you for joining the debate. We're glad you've chosen to participate and we value your opinions and experiences. Please choose your username under which you would like all your comments to show up. You can only set, please keep your posts respectful and abide by the end. If you spot a comment you think doesn't adhere to the guidelines, please use the report link next to it to let us know. Please preview your comment below and click post when you're happy with it.